Welcome to 303 Car Care. I'm 𝑭𝑶𝑳𝑳𝑐. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss an episode. What we're driving and detailing today is a 2022 Toyota Corolla XSE Hatchback that's been modified with a very specific purpose in mind. If you know anything about Toyota, the TRD badge stands for Toyota Racing Development and came onto the scene in 2014. It's a set of exclusive upgrades meant for the brand's trucks, SUVs, and cars, but has never been an option for a Corolla. We'll have more on why this performance hatchback is sporting the badging when we talk to the owner later, but for now we're going to focus on the detail. So our first step is going to be foaming the car. We want to get off any of that heavy dirt, debris. I know on the camera it might look like it's clean. He swears he doesn't wash it. He actually hasn't washed this for 2 months, but we are in Chicago and we do have a lot of contaminants that get in the air, from the brakes on buses, the brakes on his own car, plus we have the L-trains that are overhead, and that causes a lot of contaminants that could be baked into the paint. So we are going to do a chemical decontamination on the paint as well as the wheels. After that, we're going to add some protection. We're going to use our spray and rinse, quick and easy spray on, rinse off. It's going to give him 6 months of protection. He does take very good care of this car, so we're just kind of boosting the base layer that he has there. Then we're going to dive into the interior, and it just really needs a quick cleaning, so this is really just a maintenance wash. And then we'll finish it up with our 303 protectant on the dash, just to give him some UV protection and make it look like new. All right, let's dive into it. So we just got done foaming the paint. We're gonna let that dwell, get any dirt off of the surface of the paint and come down off there. But where we're gonna focus first is the wheels. So a lot of brake dust gets baked into the wheels. You might not be able to see it there, but they are very dirty. So we're gonna spray this on, go around the whole car. You'll see it turn purple. That's all those iron contaminants coming out of the wheel surface. Then we'll be able to clean them easier, and then we can get back to focusing on the paint. So we just got done washing the exterior of the car. Obviously it looks clean, and it is clean, but those contaminants we talked about earlier are still baked into the paint. So we're going to use our iron remover, which is also our wheel cleaner that we just used on the wheels, to do so. So we did just get done decontaminating the paint, which one thing we didn't mention is that gives us a good base layer to put any protection on. Today we're going to be using our spray and rinse, quick and easy while the car's still wet. You mist this on and then rinse it off by panel. So you'll see this go from sheeting to beading once the protection is activated by water. So another thing this is great for is your wheels. There's a lot of nooks and crannies in here, especially the inside of the wheel, that you can't really get to if you're trying to put a coating on. Obviously, if you take the wheels off, that's very time consuming, so a quick and easy way to coat all these surfaces. So you just use the spray and rinse, let it sit on there for a couple seconds, and just rinse it off. So another great thing to use this product on is the glass. So if you like the rain to be right off and you don't got to have your windshield wipers on full speed trying to get rid of that water, this product will make the water bead right up on your windshield. All right, now we're gonna dry the car. Like we mentioned earlier, sheeting to beading. Sheeting, the water is gonna be very hard to come off the surface. Beading makes it super easy. So now, using this, you'll see this water fly right off the paint. So the final step on the exterior of the car is going to be protecting the tires, plus we want them to look really nice. So our 303 protectant leaves a nice natural finish, which is what the owner of this vehicle enjoys. Last, we're going to be cleaning and protecting the interior of the car. That includes the floor mats, LCD screens, dashboard, seats, get off any of the dust, dirt, fingerprints with our interior cleaner and our 303 protectant. That wraps up the work in the garage. About 2 hours to get the Corolla looking like new. Now it's time to meet the car's owner and find out why he's turned this Toyota into something all his own. We're joined now by the car's owner, Dino. Thanks for joining us and being on the show.
Thanks, pleasure.
So where are we and what are we doing here?
So we're in Chicago. We're in the neighborhood of Lincoln Park, and this is where I was born and raised. And not having a garage in the city, this specific spot is actually where I worked on all my cars.
That's awesome. Well, before we get too much into that, how about we could jump in the car and take it for a spin?
Let's go.
All right, let's go. All right, so we're pulling out of this parking lot here. Why is this location so meaningful to you?
Yeah, so growing up in the city, you know, we never had a garage, pretty much always parked on the street. And, you know, when we would fix our cars, we'd have to do it ourselves, kind of try to save ourselves some money.
Right.
And I would actually come here because it'd be a lot more empty, and I'd bring some Rhino ramps and do oil changes, just regular oil changes. Bring like a cardboard box, an oil drain pan, and just change the oil and do some other stuff. Sometimes bring some cardboard to paint, some car parts, and just do anything car related.
So did you grow up in a family that was kind of the norm, like you did your own maintenance, or was that something that you started?
Yeah, growing up, I would always watch my dad work on the car and kind of help him. So he taught me a lot, and then I would kind of do things on my own as well.
Cool. So one thing that stood out to us when we started detailing the car was all of this TRD badging. And Toyota never made a Corolla that had the TRD package. So what's going on there?
I wanted to make something unique. I'm a person that can't keep my cars fully stocked. I wanted a Toyota, and I liked the TRD, but a lot of them had TRD options for trucks. But I saw they had a Camry and a Avalon, but I just wasn't too into it. I wanted something more compact and nimble for the city and a little bit more sportier looking. So I saw the Corolla, and it really just struck my eye. It looked really good from the outside, and I said, what else can I do with this type of a car? And then I noticed that they didn't really have a TRD Camry, so I found little itty bitty parts, you know, from Japan, some JDM parts, and I kind of ordered those and put those all together, and this is what I came up with. I wanted something one of a kind, basically.
Yeah, because like all the mods you've done fit really nicely with the stock car. It just looks like it would come from the factory with the TRD package, so it looks really good. Out of everything you've done to the car, what's your favorite thing?
It has to be probably the front end. It's very unique. I did use the special edition Toyota Corolla Hatchback canards, but I added red pinstriping kind of to accent the TRD brand. And I also did some black accents to kind of pull the whole front end together. So it makes it look more aggressive, and it looks sharper, I think, with the front. So
yeah, it makes it look a little more premium too.
Yeah, and then the other thing I like is that this car came with crossbars, and I do ride my bikes a lot, so I think one of the unique factors, I actually use the crossbars to transport my bikes like we are today.
Yeah, because some people just throw them up there and then never end up using them.
Yeah.
You actually have a purpose for it, so
yeah.
It's awesome to have. So you might have been a little premature when you came up with this idea, because now Toyota makes the GR Corolla. So if that would have been an option back when you purchased this, you think you would have went that route, or do you still think you would have did this and made it kind of your own?
Yeah, I think I would have waited an extra year, because when I got this car, it was just a rumor. It was just an idea or a vision. And then a year later, it finally came into production. So I think I would now get a Corolla if I had just waited. But honestly, this car still gives me smiles. And what I've done with it made it more look unique, one-off. So I'm still pretty proud of this car, and I intend on keeping it for a long, long time.
Yeah, because I mean, anybody can go out and buy a GR Corolla. This is something you made that's your own.
Yeah.
So you said your family was a little bit into cars. Is that what got you into it, or was there something else that really, stemmed your love for cars?
Yeah, I'd say number one factor is my dad being into cars, and my dad and I used to go to the Chicago Auto Show every year since I was a little lad, all the way up until high school. Every single auto show we went to. And another big factor, like everyone else I think in the car community, would be Brian O'Connor's character in Fast and Furious. The JDM lifestyle was for me, and once I saw, Paul Walker's character on the big screen, I think it had a lot of influence, and I see him as one of my childhood heroes along with my dad. So those, I think, are the two biggest things that influenced me into cars.
Do you have an aspiration of some dream car you want to own it someday and have in your garage?
Ooh.
Or multiple cars?
Yeah, I would say multiple cars. Realistic, I guess, dream car would be a Nissan GTR R35, okay, or a Porsche 911. Probably maybe a GT3. And I think an ultimate dream car is a 1973 Nissan Skyline 2000 GTR. So very old JDM.
That would be awesome if you could have them all.
Yeah.
Just me being here a few years, the car culture is way different than it was when I lived in Pennsylvania. How has that been to you?
It's been pretty good. I think a lot of times growing up in the city, there weren't as many car meets. There weren't many cars and coffees. All those would be more in the nearby Chicago suburbs. So it'd be a 30 to 40 minute drive, but it's a good excuse to kind of get out and drive your car. And overall, people are pretty friendly. Everyone's got unique tastes. Everyone's got their own spin on their own car. And I think that it's alive and well, and it's been nothing but good. And you see cars sometimes even in the city pop up, and they're very nice, and people actually using them. They're not just show cars, they're actually driven.
Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of people in this area that actually use whatever car they have. It's not just something they drive on the weekends, they drive to work.
Yeah.
Because we only get a couple good months a year, and they need to get out and drive it when they can.
Exactly.
We want to thank Dino for joining us and sharing his story and unique Corolla with us. The products he saw us use are available at all major automotive retailers as well as Amazon. So check them out for yourself and let us know what you think. Again, if you like this episode, make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thanks again, and see you next time on 303 Car Care.